Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here with another episode of Kerbal Space Program 1.2 Career Mode. We have a rocket here all set up with a standard orange tank setup, a mainsail. We've got some T-800 fuel tanks with some Reliant boosters. And on the top of this thing, our payload for today is going to be a minerals or resource scanning satellite. What I have here is the scanner, and I have the you can see it right here. This is the resource scanner here. All we really need to do now to complete this this rocket here is to put an antenna, and I believe we are all set. The purpose of this mission is to go to Minmus so we can see exactly where the fuel deposits are on the surface. That way we can do a mining operation perhaps. We can bring some fuel, get a drilling rig on Minmus and be able to take fuel up into Minmus orbit to refuel our long-distance spacecraft. So that seems like a logical next step. Of course, I don't believe I have any contracts for doing anything such close to that. We're just going on our own here, hoping for good things. I haven't actually tested this rocket as such, but let's go. We're heading back to Minmus. It seems like that we could call Minmus our second home, and I believe this will be a good next step. We want to get out to Duno, we want to get out to Eve, we want to start reaching out in the cosmos for more science. So the best way to do that is to make sure that our long-distance spacecraft, whatever they may be, will have enough fuel to actually get there, so that the fuel that we spend launching and getting it into orbit is basically negated. So it seems like a good first step here. We're just punching through the atmosphere as per usual. So you've seen this many times before, so I will see you in orbit when we are ready to get to Minmus. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are making our way around the backside of the planet here. We are ready to burn for Minmus. I believe we have enough thrust in this rocket to get us there. We're lucky enough to catch Minmus right next to our ascending node, or our descending node, so no inclination change needed. This spacecraft is a little bit unwieldy. I have to throttle up this engine here just to get this thing to sort of pivot around as per usual. Wow, that's I don't know if you can see that, but that's a really tall mountain over there. Either that or that's some artifacting. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but we are about to burn as our usual fare here. Let's go ahead and get on the mark, and full power, stability control on. We'll just shoot out to Minmus and try to get into a polar orbit, so as the planet rotates beneath us, our surface scanner can essentially cover every part of the planet or the moon on its own, which is the ultimate goal. That way we don't have to send 2 or 3 resource scanning satellites to see what's on the surface below. Now, once we find a good source of fuel, we can send a lander to that location and make ourselves at home, and then start the drilling. All right, looks like we need to burn just a little bit more here. There we go. We'll get our encounter with Minmus. Let's head on out there. Here we go, warping there. We'll clear the planet. Those solar panels will get nice and charged. We're going to slow down enough, and luckily we have enough fuel in this engine to slow us down a good bit, and our satellite here will not have to do that much work to get a nice stable orbit on the outside of Minmus. Looking for Minmus here. We are coming back down. There is Minmus catching back up to us. It's only going to be... Oh, and we're coming right over the top of it, which is exactly really what we wanted to do. And then we'll just slow down, get captured by Minmus, and use our satellite to sort of lower this orbit just a touch. All right, here we go. Okay, so we need to burn a little bit more this away. Something like that, I think. So a 4-second burn that way. Let's just give it a little thrust to start pivoting the rocket. And then we will capture in that polar orbit and bring our orbit down. So I will go ahead and complete these maneuvers, and I will see you when we are ready to lower our orbit and finally deploy our satellite. Just one moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and as you may have seen, we were a little bit too low on our periaps here because this rocket is so unwieldy and I can't really get it to turn. What we are going to do is finally separate the satellite. Now we are ready to go on our own devices here, and we need a 43 meter a second correction burn here. We're 15,000 above the surface, which I believe is fine. We'll bring the backside up to 50, however. Yeah, 15 is just a tad too close for comfort. Matter of fact, I think 25 will be good. Let me just adjust this here. 24, that's good. So a 54 meter a second burn here. Let's boost really quick. There, so a 41 second burn for this rocket, which is fine. So 20 seconds on the mark here. And then once we get into our polar orbit, we will turn on the scanner and see what we got. Yeah, the ore surface is too high. So at 15,000 it's too high, huh? Maybe we need to turn on that scanner. We can do that. Once we circularize and get get this satellite in place, we can turn on the scanner and then see what it says about it. We're a little off balance. The thruster, I lined up this survey scanner right on the center node, but it is a little wonky. And certainly if this thing was more on the side of the satellite, it definitely would be pushing one way or another. So that wasn't good for us if we did such things as those. But I think this satellite will do us just fine. And cut that one, 0.1 meter a second difference. So that puts us in a 24 by 15. Matter of fact, let's just keep on going and make it a 15 by 15. That should be low enough to do the work. $15.8 and $15.5. That is good enough for me. So let's deploy the scanner here. The scanner is running. And now we need to perform an orbital, must be between 25 and 300. All right, we can do that. Let's flip this bad boy around here. Go prograde and go, let's say 30 would be a good one to put it at. A nice 30 by 30 orbit. Let's speed up here. 30.4, and then we'll add a maneuver and just go prograde. Only a 6 meter a second burn for us. It looks like to be a half-hour orbit. So every half hour, we're going to come back around and see new things. Warping to the next maneuver. And luckily, we're in an orbit to where we are always seeing the sun. We're right on a polar orbit, and the sun will always be in that direction no matter how we go, which is really cool. We're passing over our Midlands flag from the last episode, feeling kind of nostalgic. But once we get this survey scanner kicked in and ready to go, then we'll have a destination in mind that we can put a mining operation, which I've never done a mining operation before in Kerbal Space Program, so that will be new for me as well, perhaps, as you. All right, so 30 and only 400 meter difference, we can do that. And now, let's get to it. Let's perform an orbital survey, starting the transmission. Our electric charge is going down. 25 science for receiving an orbital survey. See, ore surface too high. Let's see, toggle the overlay. Let's see, color. Do we need an imaging somewhere? It says ore surface too high. Perhaps we need to drop it even further. Oh, there we go. Take a look at that. All right, we need to refine our tools just a touch. Let's see what we got. Heat map green. Let's go 60%. Toggle that overlay here. So there we go. Now we've got some indications of where it would be good to drill. And it looks like this area over here, it will be really, really good for us. Once we can get a mining ship there, I think we will be okay. All right. Is there anything else we can do while we are here? We got CurbNet access here. And we are certainly high up. Okay. Refresh every 7 seconds. Yeah, it looks like our field of view may be too high up. Let's actually adjust our orbit and get up higher here. 58 minutes, okay. So we're coming around this side. Let's add a maneuver and push out to, say, 100. Maybe that will give us a more clear picture here of what exactly is going on. Around we come. And then essentially I want to see the whole planet here in CurbNet, so we need to adjust our orbit to get up higher. Oh, missed that one, but no worries. We'll be fine. Just minor tweaks with the satellite. We have plenty of fuel on board. All right, we're all set on this side. And we'll be all set on this side whenever we just add a maneuver to 100,000. Some fine tuning here. And then I hope, yeah, that's a nice view of Minmus there. So 100,000 should be good. We can narrow our field of view up a touch. And then once we can set a waypoint, we will know exactly where we are going to be going whenever we... Let's rotate this to get the solar panels in full sunlight here. Once we can set a waypoint, we'll know exactly where to land. We can aim for that mark with our future mining equipment and get a lot of fuel drilled out of the surface. There we go. So we should be in a nice 100 by 100, 99 by 103. That should be fine. Let's zoom in a bit on the refresh. And it's a shame when we come back around to this area here. I want to sort of set a waypoint. Once we can come across, we'll refresh our view here. So if that is Minmus, are we aiming for right there? Nope. Are we aiming for right there? We are indeed. So that is where we want to land. Area B9NW. Let's just delete this waypoint. And now when we go to the map mode, we are going to know exactly where to land. Let me just zoom in here so I can... Yeah, that looks pretty good. We can adjust... Alright, so that sets navigation. Yeah, it looks like we are all set. Now, the question I have, and I haven't played around with this much, is if we go back to the tracking station, will we be able to go to Minmus and see that waypoint? Yeah, we've got the waypoint and we've got the orbital scan. So it looks like next episode, I'm going to be constructing a basic mining rig. I'll add some rover wheels so it can drive around, and we will be aiming for this spot on Minmus, which looks pretty good for resources. So that is going to do it for me in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We're all set up to begin mining, so look forward to that next time. But that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.